Morning. I'd like to call the Properties Environment and Economic Development Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. McCormick?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Erickson?
Here. Approval of the minutes of September 26, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve.
It's been moved by Beggs,
I'll second.
supported by Hardy. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Any changes to the agenda this morning? Would there be any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept the agenda as written.
I'll make that motion.
Support Walker.
Moved by Hardy, supported by Walker. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. Will there be any public comment at this time? I see McKean's not here. Hearing none, building department move with the IT supplies. Ms. Biard.
So with the move going on at the health department for the building department, there are some IT related items that need to be addressed, and the cost for those are included in your packet. The total was roughly $9,000. Yes. And that's for the rack for the equipment, the patch panel, switches for the phones, wireless access points, and cable.
Very good, thank you.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes, sir.
I saw that we had several proposals on this. There were more than just the one that was in the packet.
Anything else?
No.
Mr. Walker.
You're looking at the wrong guy if you want to know if it's going to meet our needs on IT stuff.
Mm-hmm. We've got to work with Amy.
Yeah, Amy was involved with the bidding process.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir. Mr. Hardy.
Any recommendation on the bids that we got from IT?
I believe that she, in her email, she spelled out the quotes, like the CBTS and what would be coming from them. And then a quote from SHI and the hardware items that would come from them, and then there's some other items for Amazon, $9,874.
Yeah, I think we've got to allow her to get us through this as easily as possible.
Just make a motion to approve up to $10,000 at the discretion of the IT department to secure equipment as needed.
Yep. No, it's wonderful it's happening, so I appreciate that.
And I'm sure whatever she's setting up, it sets us up for the future to put other things over there. So,
Very good. County building chiller.
So this has been an ongoing topic. The bids were provided for you, and we are now asking that you allow us to order the chiller so that we can have that ready to go when the electricity is, the electrical modifications have been made so that that can be installed.
Well, may I?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have to wait till the electrical modifications are installed.
No, I'm saying order this, have it on hand. so
Order
that-
it and they can put it in.
Yeah.
It may be better if they get it all put in and, you know, just ready to wire it when the electrical people are working on it. Does Cortez have the electrical part of it? I believe.
It is, yeah, I do believe so.
Cortez has that, so.
Court Hayes
So-
and then Michael the city.
But this time of year, we're not, obviously not using the chiller. And just, if it's all isolated, I don't see any reason why they just can't go ahead and put it in when it gets here.
Get it wired up, we'll need it in the spring.
You know, if they have the time to put it in, just,
And those funds were set aside, within the ARPA when we were working through that, so.
quite a difference in the prices, you know, between the pipe pressures and pipes and, you know, the three bids, so.
You know, low bid of 118 and a high bid of just under 165.
Very good. Any department head reports?
Good morning, everyone. Mr. McCormick, I haven't had a chance to meet you. Greg, nice to meet you. Guys, I want to thank you all for that. I know that's kind of an impromptu project with the cement in front of the sheriff's office. It turned out really looking nice. I don't know, Mr. Walker, if you had a chance to see the cutout you suggested. You should take a look at it.
Did they ramp it?
Yeah,
It really looks nice.
Good.
Yeah, they put a pad, contour pad in there, and it really looks great, so. More than anything, I wanted to thank you guys for that project, because I know that was a short notice, but it really turned out very, very, very nice.
I'm glad that came to us, because that's something that's been on the agenda. When we ramped the one over on this side, we didn't do them both at the same time. So that's been on the agenda for a long time, so I'm glad.
Yeah, it looks great. We've got 49 people in jail as of this morning. Sounds like they're behaving pretty well, considering the clientele we've got.
51 of them.
Okay. And our road patrol guys are busy. We're taking a lot of car deer accidents. It's that time of year. So, any questions for me?
Very much so.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Any other department head reports? Hearing none, we'll adjourn the Properties Environment Economic Development Committee. Yes, Mr. Hardy.
Public comment.
Yeah, public comment. I figured everybody was department heads, other than Janet, but very good. We'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Good morning. Let's call over the Finance Administration Committee. We have a roll call.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. McCormick?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here. It asks for approval of the meeting minutes from October 10th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Beggs. I'm sorry.
Support.
Support by Erickson. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Well, we have 2024-130 regarding health insurance, and 2024-131 for the committee appointments for Mr. McCormick.
Okay. You want to do this after your report?
Yes.
Any other changes to the agenda?
Mr. Hardy, I would like to mention that I was remiss on not asking for the appointments for Mr. McCormick the last time. And the health insurance, the reason this is coming so late is the administrator's office has been working on this with our health people, you know, and they just got the information. We talked yesterday, and it was just coming in yesterday, the information, so.
Understand. All right, that asks for approval of the agenda. Changed.
So move.
Second.
I'll support it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same. Is there any public comment at this time for Finance and Administration Committee? Just quietly, Gary. All right, moving on. Ms. Maloney, Energy Management Performance Grant. 2024-123.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, good morning. So what you have in front of you in your packet is our annual emergency management performance grant. That's the one that helps subsidize my salary through Homeland Security and FEMA. And the total number of that is $8,816 this year. And we're going to point out that this is always in the rears, so this is 2024 and 2025, you know, it goes on. So we're always 1 year behind that. And I do have history of revenues in the past, or for any questions you may have regarding that, but it is the renewal of our EMPG grant.
Anybody have any questions?
Not on this one, Mr. Hardy, but on grants in general. Troy, it used to be that there was a lot of grants that came in from Homeland Security, you know, for, you know, when we went to the 800 radios, there were grants for a lot of those. There were grants for different things that came down the line all the time. Have a lot of those grants dried up. Are they not doing those anymore?
Sure have. They've dried up, and then they've mandated a lot of them go into certain categories. So as part of Region 6 Homeland Security Division, we do those as a group. So some of our funds goes into group projects because we're all mandated to do these things. So a good example of that would be some of our funds went to the Rescue Task Force kits for all 13 counties. That part of Region 6 we contribute because we have more buying power as a group. But overall, no, grants are drying up. This grant is a great example of that. In 2022, we received $30,866. In 23, we got $16,015. And in this grant, we're getting $8,800. This is a cycle that is going on. There's reasons for it. I can't give you a politically correct answer for that, but FEMA funds are being spent elsewhere, not on emergency management. This is going on across the nation, nothing unique here.
So if there are any grants, I realize very, very few. If there are any grants at all that come through the region and things come back to the county at all, do those things go into our asset file if there's any purchases?
Yep, everything is recorded and tracked where they are, when they come in. We have a filing system for that. If they get assigned to a division, let's be law enforcement, fire departments, they all sign a acknowledgement of receipt or transfer of equipment and the rules that go along with the grant for that. Those are all signed by myself, and whoever the recipient is goes into the file, scanned and copied in there, and we have inventory and all that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, Troy.
For clarification, isn't there, a lot of these grants have a terrorism focus too? So if you can't tie it to terrorism, it's a hard sell?
Correct. So like example, we get Homeland Security grant is our biggest revenue. So that's been dropping every year. This year it's dropping down to below $12,000. That's what pays for our Code Red, because that is considered community resilience for terrorism, for mass notification, public notification. So those numbers are dropping too. Basically, they're sweeping emergency management funds across the nation in order to fund other projects.
We can't fund a tornado cleanup, but if someone comes down with a suitcase bomb, we can.
Well, even that, yeah. So even then, the amount of money is just not there. So everybody's in the same boat. We are always fighting. The state, the Michigan Emergency Management Association is very busy down at the Capitol trying to get the politicians to understand how important it is, and that goes through the National Emergency Management Association, which we're part of Region 5 FEMA, and that group is very politically active trying to get the legislator to understand, you know, hey, you're telling us we have all these threats, but then you're cutting our funds. And it seems to be a useless battle. But, we apply for every grant that we feel we have ability to get. We're just drying up.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Kelly, memorandum of agreement for MSUE services and memorandum of agreement for administrative services for the economic development, 2024, 124, and 125.
Morning, James.
Good morning, James Kelly, MSU Extension. Two items on your agenda. The first is, of course, the annual contract with Extension for our services. The second one, although I can speak to, that's really economic development's contract. We are a service provider simply because we have a person with capacity to provide that service. So happy to take questions on either of those, of course, this morning. I didn't prepare a lot to kind of share with you, but I will share that the contract you have in front of you is a standard contract we've provided for, this thing was up and around now, which is approaching 6 years already. No change in the structure, no change in the staffing model. It's based on the budget request that we submitted earlier this season. I do continue to send out, of course, quarterly reports, and I think you got one recently from me, and annual reports to kind of give you some more detailed feedback on what our efforts are in the county. I will share, just by chance, just an example, one of the advantages of sharing extension. I was up at the research station this morning, and there is an event which is kind of being put on by the Right Place. So Curtis is up there this morning, but with a heavy partnership with MSU Extension. And it's an example of the outside resources that we bring into Oceana County. There's 4 MSU Extension staff up there from across the state this morning, from as far away as Northern Ohio and Detroit, involved in this Harvest Hub Summit, which is a food processing, food entrepreneurship session that's happening today, again in partnership with the Right Place. We have our mobile food processing lab up there. I don't know if you drive up or down that road, but if you have a chance in the next couple of days, there's a semi-trailer which is all beautifully vinyl wrapped with MSU branding. It's a mobile lab which is run by our Institute of Ag Tech, but it's designed to give students an opportunity to test out different processing equipment. So they're doing a apple cider run with some students in the coming few days. So again, it's nice to see those kind of resources come into the area through that facility. So today there's a food packaging expert up there. There's a small business entrepreneurship, a business startup expert from MSU Extension up in the research center. So again, that is a piece of the model that you are supporting, and supporting Extension locally is bringing in these wider resources. So I am happy to take any questions specific to the contract. So I'll pause there for a moment.
Yep, I did see the mobile processing plant there today. I think last time we talked about it was in Muskegon County. That's where you pretty much had kept it, right?
No, it actually lives on campus.
So it is from Lansing.
Yeah, so it's again, it's tied into the academic part of the ag training that we do on campus. So the students there are using that to test different product lines, food lines. And it actually costs quite a bit, as you would imagine, to haul a semi-trailer and park it for a few days. So every time that moves across the state to some location, there's some investment through various funds to have that sit there for a few days. So, yeah.
That'll be available for trunk and treat then Saturday?
I don't know.
I
hope so. There is an event at the research station on Sunday called Tractors and Treat, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of an ag twist for the kids. I know they're kind of working with Farm Bureau and a couple of other local agencies to have an ag themed kind of kids related candy dispersal event. Still struggling as someone who didn't grow up in the U.S. to understand this whole give out of mass candy.
Go to strangers and take candy when you're taught all the time.
I was at the Muskegon County Fairgrounds last night and watched 1,000 kids just wander by and pick up that candy. It's good, don't get me wrong.
Well, it's all good.
Anyway, so yeah, good event coming up Sunday. I'm not sure when the trailer is going to be moved off site there, but what's today?
Thursday.
So I would think it might be there through the weekend.
Yeah, it's an extremely important thing in regards to our agriculture and the people that you've got there today with the packaging and the innovations that we've seen. It's very, very important.
Well, again, it's a continually evolving arena, and all industry is, of course, but I will highlight too that we now have our specialty crop ag irrigation specialist now in Mason County, so he will be working, he's already doing some research on sites, because as we deal with more and more climate fluctuations, and although we have a lot of clean water, we have this responsibility, of course, to be good stewards of that resource. So irrigation systems for apple orchards now, all those crops that traditionally didn't get a lot of attention in terms of irrigation assistance, we're doing a lot of testing for different different systems there and monitoring, so it's good to have another ag person in West Michigan who's got a broader region, but because they're here and because we're doing research in Hart, they will be actively involved locally.
Mr. Walker.
Mr. Hardy, I'd just like to point out that, if we adopt our budget, at the regular meeting this afternoon, this funding is in that budget.
Right.
So
Yes.
we're covered for it.
Yeah, in place. And we have a new 4-H coordinator.
We do. We're fortunate to have been able to relocate a 4-H person from Muskegon County who, when she took the position in Muskegon County, she was actually commuting from further away, but she then moved into Oceana County. And she's had a lot of good, strong experience with 4-H and fairs and ag, and we're already seeing the benefits of having her in Oceana County. So excited to see where that will go. Well, I think in the last report, that again, a little bit of growth already in a short tenure. She's been here, I think,
Just before
2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months feels like longer, but she's already drawing in additional adult volunteers, which is kind of the core to the 4-H program and recruiting more kids. So again, I would be excited to watch that program and look for some growth in the coming years.
I've heard many, many good compliments with Jennifer.
Yep.
And I must also add that there will be a horse show Saturday on the fairgrounds.
You're ahead of me in keeping up with the local, as you should be. The fair board president will push those fair activities, but no, it's again, we had a very, very good, I would say, smooth fair season.
Record-breaking auction.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Questions, comments?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was up there this morning, and I'll just leave these. I always get drawn to bright, glossy, colourful things. So this is a nice little annual report from the product center. So the folks who are up there, kind of supporting that event, this is the department that they work within. And again, primarily it's based out of what we call the Product Innovation Center, which is in Pokemos. But we have a local piece to that on the campus of Muskegon Community College, which is called the Farm, Food, Ag, Research, Manufacturing. And this is just one of their kind of annual report pieces that they send out, which, although I've seen electronically, I haven't seen the printed version, so I'll have you, if you wouldn't mind, pass some of those around. But thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, James. All right, moving on, Mr. Briard, consideration adoption to approve the 2024 appointment report, millage rates for Form L42.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is our annual report to where I certify that the millage rates for all of the townships, the city, villages, schools, ISD, have all been reduced if necessary, and those millage rates need to be reduced. So this form, all the millage rates have been uploaded to the state. I actually produced the report from the state, and the board bill is actually the ultimate. You need to approve this in order for everybody to actually collect their tax levies.
Do we have any questions?
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward.
It is. We're looking, I had a 3.1% CPI. I can add that for next year. So, and I had already let this Beard know that. So
This was a little
Factored
down
into
from
your-
last year, right? Sorry.
we had a 5.1% increase for 24.
Okay.
The previous year was 7.9. So revenue's obviously not going to be as big of a jump as the last 2 years, but it's kind of getting back into that normal range. Typically, the average since 1994 is just a little over 2%, which is where the feds want to get the inflation rate down to. Somewhere between 2 and 3% is going to be pretty much the norm going forward.
Great. Anybody have any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Biard, administrator's review of select claims for payment and administrator's report.
Claims for payment are included in your packet. Is there anything that anybody wants to discuss on those?
I didn't see anything.
No errors, huh?
I didn't see a $90,000.
Yeah, there's no $90,000 mistake. Good with that.
So, into my administrator's report, I didn't have anything written in the packet. We've been working diligently to get the final figures for the budget with everything that was approved by the board and getting the resolution prepared and all of that. And we were right down to the last minute getting the packets out last week, but that is done and in your packet, and I'm so excited that that's gonna be behind us after today. I've also been working on some contracts with the state of Michigan for the airport landing. Lots of documents, they need stuff notarized, filled out, 3 copies sent to the state, so we worked through that yesterday. And then to let you know that we have a Halloween party for employees here at the county building next Thursday, and you are welcome to come in if you want. And you will like this. You will like this a lot. We are doing an officer treat instead of a trunk or treat. So each office will be doing their own thing. So you can kind of go around to each of the offices and get your own treats. Yeah.
I think Mr. Kelly could wear a Sparty costume.
Send me the invite, I'll be there.
Full-size candy bars, please.
Full size, yeah, full size, and 50-cent pieces instead of nickels. You know, I mean,
Paul, I didn't hear, did you say Mr. Kelly is gonna be dressed in maize and blue? And
I was thinking the same thing. I thought that we could put him in a little bit of that. Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Looks like our office.
He
is
could
gonna-
come as a kangaroo.
Yeah, he could.
Okay,
It's nice to be a
I
target.
started it, that's enough.
This is we will be doing candied apples in my area.
That's-
I do believe so. We're gonna have like different types of things that you can do on the apples. Are you gonna make a joke again?
I was just gonna say, what type of apples are you gonna use, but I won't.
That's important. That's really
Red
important.
ones.
There you go, red ones.
Or golden.
Okay. You want to discuss also the 2 additional motions?
Certainly.
2024-30 and 2024, 131.
Okay, so, as Chairman Walker stated, we've been working through the health insurance piece. The current company brought in, the proposal to us. I had informed you there was roughly a 4% increase and that we were working to make some changes to, get that back down. We wanted the county to save money and we wanted the employees to save as well. So I received those proposals back from them and wasn't impressed, to be honest. Also wanted to point out that the benefit specialist that we've been working with was not at that meeting, and we're not informed until the night before that she would be attending. Come to find out, she's not with the company any longer. I've been working with her for over 15 years on benefits and had reached out to her and asked if there was a possibility of providing a proposal to see where we could save. And that proposal has been provided for you. She is suggesting a carve out of the prescriptions, which means that the prescriptions wouldn't go through BCN, it would go through a company called Med Tipsters, and I'm very familiar with this. That's where the savings would come from. Roughly an $80,000 savings to the county, and a reduction in the cost to the county employees for the amount that they're paying on their premiums.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes, Mr. Lawyer.
Excuse me. The administrator and I talked several times about this, and when she brought up the lack of communication with our former provider that we were doing on this, and going to to the person who provided this. I was in agreement with that. I didn't want to sidestep the board, but this was going on so fast and we wanted to get the information that Tracy did ask about going to the other provider if I thought there'd be any problem with it. And my feeling was that it's never a problem when you get two different proposals on something this expensive. And the person who she's worked with did provide a lot better proposal. Instead of going up 4% for everybody, there's a savings for the county and there's a savings for the employees too.
That's option 2 on your sheet. I just
Yes.
pulled it out, so, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions on those?
Thanks for all your work.
No problem. Well, and the other item that is on there that was,
Appointments.
yeah, the appointments, which is self-explanatory, so.
And does everybody have a copy of those?
I believe so.
The appointment? Let me just, do you mind if I just
Oh,
read those?
please do.
Mr. McCormick will be taking the committees that Mr. Morris had, personnel and health and human service. He'll be chairing properties, environment, and economic development, vice chair, alternate for the Veterans Affairs Liaison, Michigan Works, West Michigan Shoreline Regional Development Commission, the Planning Commission, the County Planning Commission, Senior Resources Board, and the White River Natural Resources. He will be one of 2 members on there. And Joel, you will always receive notice ahead of time for any of these meetings if there are. And if there's any that, you know, you have a conflict with, you can reach out to the vice chair or the other person that's on those boards. And if you want a few more, we could probably donate some more from the other one.
I'll start with these.
We can check some more boxes. Thank you, Mr. Walton.
Well,
All right. Moving on, any department head reports?
We have a nice progress working towards the scanner in the jail. Lieutenant Schneider and Under Sheriff have been working hard on that. And we had a big project, a big wall was cut in the jail to make room for it. It's been progressing nicely.
Any estimated time?
I don't know when it's scheduled to be shipped.
Yeah.
We had some prep work to do, and Mr. Sanderson from maintenance is going to be doing some shifts with the electrical, which seems to be pretty straightforward. Once those things are tidied up, then they can move it into the space, if you will. Block and steel is enjoyable to work with.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Especially in a secured environment.
Yeah, there's that too.
That'll be a nice, helpful addition.
That'll be a nice tool.
Nice tool.
So that way, a male officer will be able to process a female without needing to have a female present.
Everyone that comes in,
Yeah.
run through the scanner, make sure they don't have any contraband in them.
Yep. It'll help quite a
Yeah,
bit with
yeah,
our staff.
absolutely.
Yes.
Good security. Thank you. Any public comment for Finance and Administration Committee? Hearing none, we will adjourn the Finance and Administration Committee and we're going to take a break until 11:30.
That's too fast.
That was fast.
Yeah. Because we can't start.
Big controversy, we want to slow it down.
This is too.
Just give me the word.
We got rolls.
I got a phone call from Jim Brinker that's on Wayne Road. That's what,
Yeah.
that was with, that house.
Yeah, sometimes when it's 11:15 going on 11:30, it's like, well, you
I know, I
know.
looked